We begin with some breaking news. South Korea's ex-president Yoon Suk-yeol has been sentenced.
The greatest fail son of all time, the shortest lived. We were, I don't know if some of you old cunts remember, we were literally covering, what you call it, the the incredible People's Right-Wing Revolution of South Korea. Falling apart in front of our eyes. Remember that stream? I was watching and I was like, no way, is it like, it's falling apart already. It's falling apart already. What the fuck? Like, we couldn't believe it. We were like, holy shit, this is going to be like content for 3 days. This is going to change the face of the entire country. And then just frame mogging. Oh my God, now the rhetoric is in my brain. Frame mogging by like grandmas that take a soldier's firearm and break it over their head. It was crassy, dude. It was crassy.
To life in prison on charges.
I think South Korea sentenced 4 out of 6 of their ex-presidents at this point. Insane fucking ratio. Fucking get mogged. Dude, in South Korea, being a president is like holy mother of risks.
Of insurrection for declaring military.
Can't wait for Trump to just fucking clear this guy.
Rule in December 2024.
Why? Because South Korea is a fucking colony.
A judge said
it's a satellite state. No, eat my ass. If we can call, if OG like mainstream journalists can call Belarus a satellite state of Russia, we can call South Korea a satellite state of the United States of America. Okay? And I am norming the fuck out right now. I am using standards that normies have set. If Belarus is a satellite state of the Russian Federation, then South Korea is a satellite state of the United States of America.
Yoon was guilty of rebellion for mobilizing military forces in an illegal attempt to seize the legislature, arrest politicians, and establish unchecked power.
South Korea is more of a colony than Japan, yes. Which is very funny because almost no country has been mogged in peacetime harder than Japan has by the United States of America. How there can be a pro-American Japanese nationalist is always going to mind blow me. And I'm not even talking about the fucking nukes. I'm not even talking about the nukes. You guys get, like, you Japanese, man, you get embraced into the Western world order. And you get told, yo, if you move 2 steps away from the market economy and capitalism, we will literally nuke you one more time. Be obedient and you will get to be wealthy. Guess what the Japanese do? They're like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And then they start getting insanely wealthy to a point where their stock market and their commodity production starts competing with America, who told them that free markets and competition über alles. If you beat somebody in the free market, you have beat them. And guess what America does? Crashes their entire fucking economy. Mugs the shit out of them. Pisses on their fucking kimonos. Takes a shit in one of their hot baths. Fucking literally rim jobs itself up on that fucking Tokyo Eiffel Tower. You don't know about this? You don't know about this. You don't know about this. Please. We'll have a whole stream dedicated to that then. We'll have a whole stream dedicated to that. It's the reason the Japanese to this day are afraid of developing further past the unforgivable point, as they like to call it. When America, like, you can develop as an ally of the United States, but to a point. Certain levels of development are allowable, others aren't.
In December 2020,
let me find you maybe a video that can describe it.
He ordered soldiers to storm Parliament and sent troops onto the streets. Yoon's martial law declaration lasted just 6 hours, but plunged South Korea into its biggest political crisis in decades. Let's cross over to journalist Fabian Kretschmer. He's in Seoul covering this case. Fabian, what more can you tell us about the verdict?
Well, the main point of the verdict was that Yoon Suk-yeol was found guilty of leading an insurrection by declaring martial law and also by sending military troops to the National Assembly. He tried to paralyze the National Assembly and undermine the democratic order, according to the judge. So it is a grave verdict, but however, the judge did reject several claims that the prosecutor made. The prosecutor said that Yoon Suk-yeol planned this martial law decree for over a year and that he wanted to plan a long-term dictatorship.
Peter.
And this, the judge said...
I don't know if this one is going to be good, but it's Peter and Stewie talking, and I get my political information from Peter and Stewie. I think this one might explain.
Peter, why did the US seem so rich in the early 80s while Europe and Japan were struggling?
Stewie, excellent question. In the early 80s, the United States was growing at around 3% GDP. But here's the kicker. We were running a growing current account deficit, which is basically a fancy term for a trade deficit.
So we were spending more than we were earning from exports?
Bingo. And whenever a country runs a deficit, it has to attract investors to cover the gap. In this case, Japan and West Germany were buying US bonds, notes, and bills, using the surplus from their own economies.
Wait, so Japan was lending us money it could have used at home? That sounds risky.
Exactly. Their huge trade surpluses were financing our deficits at the expense of their own economic growth, which was actually negative at the time.
Sounds like a recipe for trade wars.
That's right. To prevent protectionism and trade conflicts, the US needed to manage its debt to foreign investors. Luckily, inflation and interest rates were low, so repayment wasn't impossible. The only thing needed was for the US dollar to...
Yes, but he's not mentioning that was forced upon Japan, okay? The Plaza Accords, I believe. Literally, they were just told to do this or get fucking boinked. Need a shorter video that can just... No such thing.
Is not the case. And that's why Yoon Suk-yeol, quote-unquote, only received a lifelong prison sentence because the prosecutor demanded a death sentence.
Oh my God, why read like 5 books to understand this when Peter can tell me I love TikTok?
It was also a possibility. However, it would have been a symbolic choice because in South Korea within the last 30 years, no death penalty has ever been executed.
Hatokyari, yo, my friend, can you explain how the Plaza Accords absolutely murdered Japan when it was basically betrayed by the United States because the United States noticed that Japan was basically developing at a faster pace than the U.S., leading to it becoming an actual market competitor, which the U.S. obviously is a great supporter of free market competition, very often fights against the free market competition.
But yeah, it's
which is how actually free market competition always works. Just in this case, it is not one single monopoly fucking eating everything else. It is the monopoly on international state violence that America has, which ensures its domestic capitalist class and commodity production's monopoly over other competing capitalist elites from foreign countries. So to an extent, it is a kind of cartel monopoly of American capital over all other capital, which is tolerated only to the extent in which it does not compete directly against it. Richard Wood, okay, 8 minutes. Very good, very good, very good. Yes, slow Japan. I'll keep it for another stream when we go into it. Thank you. The CIA created the LDP and destroyed socialist movements in Japan in the 60s. This has never been a real chance for Japanese socialists to make substantial moves, sadly. Said that as a JCP member. Still, you guys do good work.
It's a grave verdict, and Yoon Suk-yeol will probably spend...
Yeah, it's a free market. You try to win, I'm free to beat you. Yeah. But like that's the meme. That's the meme, because a lot of libertarians will say, well, that's the free market is corrupted. It is no longer acting like the free market because the state intercedes on the behalf of certain capitalists. But you don't get it. Like you have draw. Okay, you have American capital. This big, okay? And then you have other countries and their capitalist elites, etc., etc. And some of them work in unison with American capital. Some compete, I don't know, Russian large capital, even Chinese large capital, et cetera, competes with American large capital. And they all exist in a free market. All of this is competition in the free market. But then a libertarian will come and they will say, but wait, bro, this is not like, why are you looking at the entire American capitalist elite? This is just the American state. The American state interceding and fucking just boinking motherfuckers. Like, oh my, boof, wait, sorry, what the fuck? Just boinking motherfuckers is not free market because it's a state. It's not a private enterprise doing the fighting whenever it moves on someone. But that doesn't make any sense for a very simple reason is the reason all of this acts in unison is because it is bought by large capital. It's simply a minute difference in definition. The American state, just like most states in capitalist countries, are simply a united representation of the domestic capitalist cartel. The capitalist cartel has bought the state. The state is simply another instrument in the hand of large capital. Therefore, when large capital utilizes the state in their fight inside of the free market against other competitors, it's simply using another tool at its disposal inside free market. Okay? When you are a large corporation fighting other large corporations at a certain level, you have what? You have HR, you have marketing, you have sales, you have logistics, and then you have the ownership of the United States of America. Unironically, you have access to the state as another department after HR, marketing, the guys that buy pizzas for lunch breaks, your middle management, the American military, hotels that you rent for regular vacations. And the reason I'm ranting about this is because that's still free market, bro. They just bought the state. Do you understand? You wouldn't say like, this is not free market anymore because they bought all the oil. Because they bought like a private military company. It's still free market. You can use the private military company to kill your elite, to kill your enemies. That's still fucking, free market. Oh, non-aggression pact. Suck my dick. That doesn't make any fucking sense. They simply buy the state, so it still operates. It is just another department. Okay? This is an immaculate depiction of the imperial core and the periphery. Thanks for blessing my eyes with this fine night, Hugo. You're very welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Yeah, free market inevitably leads to monopolies. Yes, we all know that. This is just, yes, my friend, but I'm trying to add a little bit more like complexity to the analysis. Which TLDR is, don't let a right-wing libertarian tell you that we don't have a free market because the state intercedes in issues. That makes no sense because the state is owned by capital in capitalism. It defends capital interests. The interest of certain capitalists more than others, sure. That contradiction, that particular contradiction, is just like small pussy-ass, bitch-ass capitalists get better, bro. Get better. Complaining about how they can't grow because all their better established capitalists have already bought out the state and are now lobbying the state to stop the petit bourgeois from developing. How about you get better if you love the free market so much? So at the end of the day, right-wing libertarians do not only advocate for something that can physically not exist for more than 5 seconds, because after 5 seconds, a capitalist buys the state or forms a state or turns themselves into a state. But they also are ironically, guys that constantly say, let's start a new game. Let's start a new game. That's what a right-wing libertarian is. You're playing on a server, and the second somebody has gotten a 3-kill streak, they're like, oh my God, this is the state, and uses the kill streak to get a radar or whatever, Call of Duty reference. Oh my God, that's the state interceding on the market. You were not competing here. We got to restart the server. That's what it is. That's what right-wing libertarians are. I come for the Gamba, stay for the heartfelt and accurate material analysis. Let's fucking Gamba, motherfuckers. Speaking of the free market, the only true free motherfucking market, Yugopnik motherfucking Twitch. I want Western taxpayers, I want developing world taxpayers to be dropping some fucking dimes, 5+ subs, and we spin that shit. Let me lose some fucking money for real, baby. Let's go! Jesus, I sounded like Pitbull. Or was it Pitbull that starts with, let's go! I'm on a streak right now, and I want somebody to defeat my streak because I am self-hating.